Hey, my Pilates people, welcome to my channel, Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you a full body reformer session using your box. There's only a couple moves that we won't actually use the box, but it's gonna stay on the reformer the entire time. Couple spring changes, but for the most part, we're gonna try to stay on one spring for the whole session. A little bit more on the intermediate side, just because we will be standing on the carriage at one point. And that's it. You may need a pad for kneeling. We are going to start with the foot bar up, your box in its long ways setting, long box on, and one light spring. So for my balanced body, that's a blue spring. It's not my lightest spring. It's one up from my lightest. So long box on, one light spring, foot bar up, and we're actually going to start standing facing your reformer behind your foot bar. So I'll meet you there. All right, so coming around and facing my box here, I'm gonna take my hands on my front edge of the box. My feet are about shoulder width distance apart and all 10 toes are pointing forward. And I'm pretty close to the reformer. Adjust as you need, okay? I'm just gonna start by dropping my head, tucking my tail, and feeling this opposition up through my chest and down through my hands. From here, I'm just gonna press the carriage out. I'm gonna kind of roll out. I'm gonna lean forward, really lean into the spring. And then when I'm at my end range, I'm gonna stick my booty out. My chest is gonna reach forward. My heart is gonna lift. And then on your next exhale, drop your head, drop your tailbone, lift up through the belly and the ribs to bring the carriage in. Again, we kind of undulate out into that baby extension. Bend the knees if it feels better. And I really just want you to find some type of stretch here. Don't worry about making it perfect. Let's do one more like that. Maybe when you're out here on this next one, like wiggle the tail from side to side and just see where those tight places are. And then drop your head, drop the tailbone, lift to come all the way home. All right, now we're just gonna play around with our weight shift. So go ahead and press the carriage out again. Again, really lean forward. And now I want you to straighten your left leg as your right knee bends, but now push into your left arm a little bit more and think of sending that left hip back behind you and just breathe into that stretch. For 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and switch to the other side. So feel your right hip draw back and the right heel of your hand really push into the box without going into your neck. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and center yourself. Drop your head, puff up the back, guide the carriage all the way in. Okay, we're gonna stay on this same spring. We're gonna drop the foot bar all the way down. I'm gonna have a seat on my box facing away from my risers, and then I'm gonna grab that safety strap and place my feet under it. So depending on your strap, your feet, carriage, whatever, you might be able to get your heels onto the platform. I feel like that's ideal here, but I can't get there for today. So either way, I want the strap to be nice and taut. If you're unable to get your heels on the platform, just separate your feet so that way, again, the strap is nice and tight. So I'm gonna think of pushing my heels down and lifting my toes up so there's a flex of my feet, okay? I'm scooted pretty close to the front edge, so I have lots of room behind me here. Let's reach the arms forward and again, find that opposition between fingertips and chest and keep the carriage in and just start to roll your pelvis back, back, back. There's kind of an energy down through the heels, down through the feet. I want you to go back to where you feel like your low back is into the mat here and then roll yourself right back up, up, up. Again, roll yourself back. Keep the collarbone nice and broad. Legs and hips are pretty stable. And then roll yourself back up. Or legs are stable, right? Again, roll yourself back. And then on this one, if you're comfortable with it, go all the way back. Let your head go back if that's available. Arms reach back behind you and just find a big good morning stretch. Let the ribs flare. And then on your exhale, I want you to pick the arms up, pick the head up, press your ribs and your low back into the mat first, and then you roll yourself up, up, up. And this time I want you to kind of stretch forward. Let's do that again. In fact, let's make fists this time with our hands. So punch out through your fist, roll yourself back. Think pubic bone to navel, all the way back. Let your head go back if that's available. Reach back, stretch back. Big breath in. On your exhale, pick the arms up, pick your head up. Draw those ribs in your low back into the mat, and then round, up and over, stretch forward. Okay, let's interlace the webbing of our fingers. Hands go behind the base of your skull here. I want you to think a wide back, not necessarily wide elbows. So think triceps pulling or lifting away from your center spine here. Let's keep a flat back. And now I just want you to hinge back a little bit. Let's just see where we're at today. And then lift yourself right back up. I'm starting very small. Think ribs in, and then lift back up. And that immediately went to my stomach and not my back. Keep your head pushing up and into your hands the entire time. Last one like this. Keep the legs energized and then lift right back up. All right, so staying tall and lifted here, carriage stays in. Let's side bend up and over to the right. Again, keeping hips and legs stable. And then lift right back up to center. Up and over to the left. Lift, 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 and then back up. Again, up and over. Think sides of the neck long. Again, wide back, elbows in your peripheral. Last one, up and over to your left. Anchor down through both hips and then back up. All right, so now we're gonna do a variation on our neck pull. Please feel free to grab onto your legs, arms reach forward, right? You do you. So again, hands behind your head. I want you to hinge back with a flat back. And when you can't go any further, then you tuck your tail and you roll back. Sorry, Buddha. You're gonna roll back, roll back. Think of your head hitting the mat. Do not go into extension. And then roll yourself up and over. Head comes to your knees, but keep the head pushing up into your hands. Stack your spine up tall. Let's do that again. We hinge back. When you can't go any further, you round, articulate back. Think head hits the mat, up and over. The up is the hardest part. Head to your knees. Again, from tail to crown, we stack up tall, hinge back, go back. How far can you go? Tuck the tail, go back. Again, round up and over. Head to your knees, keep the head lifting up. We stack up tall. Again, check your neck, check your shoulders. Legs are strong. Low back into the mat and up and over. All right, stack your spine up tall. Keep your head to hand connection. Now lift and twist to the right. Just lift, 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 and back to center. Keep your head right over your center line, right over your pelvis, and then back to center. Think of those ribs drawing in. Last one. Lift and twist, and back to center. All right, now I want you to twist to the right. Again, keep your elbows in your peripheral. Can you now hinge back, stretch back, and then lift right back up. We lift and twist to the left. We're gonna go back, go right to the center of the box, and then lift right back up. Think of keeping both sides of the waist long. Hinge back, stretch back, and then lift right back up. Only one more here. Keep pulling that strap apart. And then come all the way up, find center, lower the arms, shake it out. I know it's a lot on the arms and the back. Okay, so from here, I want you to press the carriage out, but not to full straight legs, okay? In fact, I want you to have a decent bend to them. But from here, we're gonna try to keep the carriage pretty stable, all right? We're gonna take the hands behind the head again. If this is not working for you, you can always take your hands to your elbows Your elbows, those are not your elbows, your shoulders. Or you can take your arms out to the side. Okay, who's the teacher here? Hands behind your head, head to hand connection here. Again, carriage stays still, heels stay pushing down. We lift and twist to the left. Right elbow up and over to your right knee. Keep the weight back into your hips. I'm hoping this feels lovely. Stay in your twist, stack your spine up tall. We lift and twist to the right. Left elbow up and over. Pull back through those ribs. Maybe a little tuck of the tail, and then stack back up. Again, up and over. Reach forward as the ribs pull back, and then back up. Again, up and over, up and over. Pull those ribs back, and then stack back up. Let's do one more time each side. See if you can open some tight things up and up. Last one, up and over. Pull the ribs back, weight stays back into your hips, and then stack up, find center. Go ahead and lower the arms down, bring the carriage in. Unhook your feet. And now we're gonna slide back, and my feet are gonna go onto the carriage, straddling the box, okay? Just make sure that you're just seated on the box somewhere. You can always adjust forward or back for tension. So I'm gonna grab onto my long loops. I'm still on my one light spring here. So with my feet and my legs, I want you to not only feel like you're pushing down, but also hugging into the box. So legs are very active. And I'm also gonna think of trying to find my plumb line, okay? Hopefully I'm demonstrating that fabulous for you. So I'm gonna keep my plumb line, my palms are facing up, my elbows are bent to start. From here, I'm just gonna reach the arms out and then hold here, okay? Imagine you're lying on the mat right now. So could you get your entire back, especially those low ribs, into that mat and then bend the elbows back in, right? So there's your plumb line. Arms reaching forward, collarbone stays broad, neck stays long. And I'm thinking of my elbows reaching down and then forward, almost as if they were like a pendulum. And each time you reach forward, think of lifting the pinkies up just a hair higher than your index fingers and just see if that changes things. I don't know. All right, let's just do 2. Keep those legs energized. Last one here. Now hold the arms out there. Lower them down to where your hands are more in line with your like mid chest. Turn your palms facing in. I like a fist when I do my hug. Up to you. Open the arms out, keeping the upper back broad, and then hug them in. So again, we're still keeping that plumb line. We're still keeping the base of the ribs drawing into that imaginary mat. And my hug is not very big today because I don't want to go into protraction, or sorry, that was retraction and protraction. What's up with me today? It's my first day, y'all. First day. So I'm trying to keep it small and I'm trying to hold that space in my upper back. For 2 and 1, go ahead and open the arms out, circle them around and up. And now I'm gonna clasp my hands together. So interlace the webbing of your fingers. I'm gonna pitch forward a little bit, but trying to keep my plumb line, okay? Hands are gonna stay together. I've got this nice stretch in my shoulders. I'm gonna bend my elbows and then straighten the arms. So tricep press here. It's also a shoulder girdle stability exercise. All right, so I want you to inhale as you straighten and exhale as you bend. And I'm thinking of my armpits showing forward, and that should hopefully kind of broaden the back and lengthen the sides of my neck. I know I say that so often, y'all, but like I need that cue just as much as like every client I've ever worked with. Again, legs are energized. They're still pushing down. My ribs are pulling in. Let's do 3. I'm hoping you're feeling things at this point because I am. And 2. And last one, go ahead and open the arms out, lower them down. Okay, so we're gonna attempt a little bit of teaser. I'm hoping we're warm at this point. I'm gonna scoot forward. You can always place your feet down here, somewhere in front, but I'm gonna challenge you, okay, to take your heels up against the edge of the box, all right? So depending on how long your legs are, you might have to scoot forward or back. My hands are still into the long loops. My palms are reaching forward. I'm gonna have to lean back a little bit to get both heels in. All right, so right here, I'm thinking of lifting my butt creases up off of the box. All right, so from here, just reach the arms forward. Just reach the arms forward and just hold. All right, just like we did earlier. Think pinkies up and really draw back through your ribs. Keep lifting the butt creases up and then just lower the arms down and then reach them up. So right now my heels are pulling into the box. The back of my legs are fired up. Inner thighs are hugging together as much as they don't want to be. Now reach the arms forward and hold. Straighten your right leg out or bent, doesn't matter. Now can you keep your right leg still, keep your spine stable, lower the arms, and then reach them up. Lower the arms and reach them up. Keep that left heel pulling into the box. It's brutal, I know. Last one, reach, right heel down, left leg out. Keep your inner thighs energized. Reach, 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 reach. Keep your butt creases lifting up, up, off the box. Whoo. Go out and hold out here. Can you take both legs out? Again, bent or straight, I do not care. Can we lower the arms? And then lift the arms. The reach comes from your back, y'all. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Reach, 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 reach. Pull the low belly back. 2 more. Exhale, reach, 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 reach. 1 more. Reach out through your fists. Reach out through your pinkies a little bit more. Arms are gonna lower. Feet are gonna lower. Bring the carriage all the way in. Did we feel things? I hope. I really hope. Okay, teaser, it's my nemesis. Hang up your straps. All right, from here, we're gonna come lying down on your box, head towards your risers. Because I feel like we need a little front body opening, right? Okay, so it totally depends on you. There is a challenge no matter which way you do this. I've heard some teachers shoulders at the end of the box. I've heard some people chest off of the box. I've taught it every which way. They're all challenging, okay? So just find a place where you feel supported by the box for today. Your legs are reaching long behind you, and I just want you to let your head drop. So my hands are on the risers right now. Let your head drop, and now I want you to feel that long tailbone and your pubic bone reaching into the box here. Okay, if you want to be really mean to yourself, your legs could be completely zipped up. I'm just going to have them slightly apart for today. All right, so feel that when you like kind of tuck your tailbone here, that your low belly lifts and lightens off the box. And we need to keep the lift and the lightness through the low belly, and just try to lift your thighs up off the box without changing the shape of your low back. And then hold here. Just hold. 2, 3, and then lower the legs back down. Let's do that again. Neck is nice and long. The higher you try to lift your thighs up, the longer that tailbone needs to be, the more open your low back needs to be. And then lower back down. So if you're feeling this in your low back, you've gone way too far, okay? This should be all booty, butt creases, and back of the legs. We hold, 2, 3, and then lower back down. Last one here. We lift, we hold, and now keeping the lift of your thighs, you're either in parallel or Pilates, it doesn't matter. Can you click your heels together, or your inner thighs or your knees, right? Little just heel beats here. If you're thinking, okay, I got this, maybe your chest and head comes up just in a long line, all right? Just keep beating those heels together. Think upper thigh bones, butt creases firing up here. We've got 3, 2, 1. Now hold your legs zipped up together if you can, all right? I'm gonna reach down, grab onto the tape above the hardware. I'm just gonna hold this long line from head to tail to feet, pull the arms down and back, and pause here. Just hold, 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 and then lower back down. You're still lifting up through the low belly to support the back. Arms pulled down and back and hold. Roll the chest open a bit more, and then lower the arms back down. Again, arms pulled down and back, hold. Are we feeling your butt creases right now? My booty is like just on fire. Arms pulled down and back. Really stand in both your arms and your legs, and then arms come all the way down. Again, arms pulled down and back. Hold here. Can we do those same heel beats? Can you get the legs or the arms a little bit straighter? Maybe the neckline a little bit longer. Maybe the thighs could lift up just one more little inch for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything all the way down. You know I'm gonna do pull straps too. You know I am. So re-energize those legs. If you are in Pilates V, maybe try parallel now, okay? Think big toes together. My arms are gonna go out high and wide. So can you again find the space in your upper back and a lift through your low belly? Arms pull wide and back, hold here. Turn those palms facing down to the floor, really exaggerate that. And now lift the arms, take them back out to that T. Again, pull wide and back, push the chest forward. I'm not too worried about extension today, right? Arms go wide and back. Lots of other things are working. Wide and back, hold, palms face down. In fact, could you turn your palms facing away from your body? Holy cannoli. Arms go out wide. Last one here, I promise. Push the chest forward. Hold, 2, 3, back out to that T. Lower, down. Well, I'm hoping our back body is warm. All right, from here, I'm gonna take my left foot to the carriage, okay? My right knee or shin is on the center of the box here, like in line with the center. If you need more room for your foot, just scoot your box over, okay? So I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna grab onto my left long loop with my left hand. Alrighty, so just in this position, before we even get into spring tension, my right hand is gonna stay onto the box. Feel free to make a fist if you need, if the wrist starts to bother you, but I'm gonna think of lifting up through my ribs because this is a plank right here. My gaze is kind of just in front of my headrest. My legs are hugging in and I'm really pushing down through my left foot, the whole left foot, okay? Left hip reaching back. So many things, right? Okay, so left arm is straight. Pull the arm down and back and then reach it forward. So we kind of just did this, right? But now we're doing it with one arm. Now we're doing it standing, kneeling, all kinds of other things. So as the arm is reaching forward and back, can you start to shift weight into that left foot? Meaning, can you find more weight into your left leg than your right shin? Aha. Chest is lifting up away from the box, up away from that right hand. Can you continue to shift more weight into that left foot? Ooh, I know. Now, hold that left arm still. So I'm somewhere in the center of that range that I just had, okay? For me, I'm thinking of kind of left shoulder down, right shoulder up. Now, could you hover your right knee up off the box? And just hold here for a second. Let's just hold. Let's just see if we can get equal weight into all corners of that left foot. I'm still lifting up through the ribs. This is work. Hold, 2, 3, and just lower the knee down, reach the arms forward, or reach the one arm forward. Okay, so you see where this is going, okay? Now we're gonna add a little bit more movement. Make sure that when we're keeping the left arm engaged, we're staying connected to the left armpit. We are not in our neck, okay? This is all lats, all tricep, all right? So pull the arm back to that half position, collarbone nice and open, shift weight into the left foot, hover the right knee up. All right, so from here, can you bring your right knee into your chest, lifting the belly off of the thigh, and then just send the leg back a little bit. Not a big movement. At least for me, it's not. So how stable can you keep that left leg, left arm, and even the carriage, all right? The lower you go into this one-legged squat, holy cannoli, things should be firing up. And again, think left hip back, right hip forward for 2 and 1. Now find somewhat center with that right leg. Can you open it out to the side a little bit and then back in? Open it out to the side a little bit and back in. So the higher up you try to fire hydrant this leg, the more that left leg, left hip wants to move and compensate. Holy cannoli for 3 and 2 and 1. Go ahead and find center, lower down, arm reaches forward. Did we feel things? Oh, I hope so. Okay, let's shimmy over to the other side. Resituate your box. Now, something else I forgot to mention on that other side is when the shin, when the left knee is down here, I want you to push into the shin, even though I know we're shifting weight, as opposed to just being all up in the kneecap here. So left hand down, right hand into the strap. Check, 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 check. Ribs are up, neck is long, all the things. Right arm is straight. I'm gonna pull the arm down and back. And just like we do everywhere else, right? Even as the arm is coming forward, I'm still thinking of sides of the neck long. I'm holding the shape of my spine. And I'm thinking of hugging this arm in tight. All right, so I'm not winging it out to the side. Now, as you're going forward and back, let's start to shift a little bit more weight into that right foot if you haven't already. Remember, tripod connection. That's gonna also keep you from falling off, all right? So now pull the arm back to that halfway point. Maybe that left shin hovers. Keep energy out through both arms, lifting up through the chest. We hold. See where you need to go, right? Maybe you have to shift forward, maybe you have to shift back. Just hold 2, 3, and then lower the shin down. Right arm reaches forward, okay? When I mean shift forward and back, depending on leg length, ankle mobility, all the things, you might be looking different than me. It's not wrong, right? Just different. Okay, that was your break. All right, so pull the arm to that halfway point. Can we now hover the shin? We're standing strong. Left knee in, belly lifts, and then back out. Oh, I don't know about you, but my right foot is wanting to shift all over the place right now. As the knee comes in, it's the lift of the belly up to create space. So a little bit of ab work there on the in. And whatever shape of the spine you have right now, just keep it like that. So I probably look a little rounded right now. I'm just trying to hold that position. Think right shoulder, right chest down, left chest up. Holy cannoli. Oh, 2 more. Oh, we still have those fire hydrants. Bring the knee in, open the knee out to the side, and back in. Long tailbone, lift it up through the entire belly here. Check your neck, check your shoulders, all these things. Check your right foot as well. I feel like I keep wanting to shift into my heel on this side. For 2 and 1, carefully lower the knee down. Hang up that strap. Okay, so let's come kneeling on the box. If you want to stay up on your hands, you're more than welcome. I'm just going to come down to my forearms for a second, and I'm just going to do a little cat-cow, maybe even a little sway of my hips from right to left. Okay. In fact, one more stretch before we come standing. I want you to bring your knees more forward. I'm going to cross my right knee over my left knee. So both shins are into the box. My knees are trying to get in as close to one another as I can. I'm just going to shift my hips back. If this stretch doesn't work for you, you can always do a figure 4 stretch. Pigeon stretch. I just want you to stretch out the hips a little bit. Okay. And we shift forward. Let's switch sides. One knee is obviously going to lift as we go back. Play around with chest forward or up. Oh, okay. Let's unpretzel you. Let's come off. I'm going to be facing you, so my straps are to my right here. I am going to now change my spring to my lightest spring, the lightest spring that I have. That's a yellow for balanced body. So this is one of those that you guys know it's going to take some finagling to get into without being like, you know, being super clunky. So I'm going to take my right hand in my right strap. I'm not in spring tension just yet, but I'm going to first start by finding a nice, like wide external rotation. So I would call it a sumo squat. Dancers might call it a plie, maybe a second position, no clue. Okay. So let's start by bringing the hands together. Okay. and they're right in front of my center, so right in front of my sternum. I'm gonna think of dropping my tailbone down, my ribs are in, low abdomen is kind of pulled in and up. Carriage will move here. I'm gonna lower down, I'm gonna squat down, arms come with me, and then stand right back up, right? So there's obviously a pull of the carriage, a pull of the springs from one side, and I'm trying to stay square. Now, something else I want you to check on here is your feet. Are your heels in line with one another? And is there an equal turnout from right to left? And for me on this side, I don't know about you, but I'm having to think of my right hip coming forward and my left hip coming back because the carriage really wants to pull me into a twist. Find those granny panty muscles. One more. All right, now go ahead and lower down. Okay, I don't care what you do with this left hand. I'm gonna place it on my hip for now. I'm gonna think half of a hug. So my arm is gonna open out a little bit. Maybe this carriage closes, and then I'm gonna hug in. Again, you need more spring tension. You scoot closer to the foot bar, less the opposite, right? And what I'm hoping you're feeling is maybe some chest work. And even if you're not feeling, if you're doing this, right, you're working your chest, maybe a little bit of arm for 3 and 2. Last one. Okay. Now take your left hand into the long loop. My right hand is going to come onto the hip. You want extra work, the arm could be out to the side. We're still in this sumo squat. All right. From here, I'm just going to row the elbow out to the side. I'm just going to see how that feels and then bring it across. So I'm kind of doing the opposite of that hug. So as my arm comes forward, it's going kind of around something and forward and then back out. I feel like this move is like me reaching behind the car or the seat in the car to get something awkward out of the back. Could be. But I feel like I'm on one knee, one leg is up. I'm talking on the phone. All right, focus. Again, make this come from your back. Check the sides of your neck. They're nice and long. We're still holding this plie, aren't we? You got this. For 2, strong straight wrists. Last one, bring it across. Awesome. That's all we're doing of those. I think that's all we need. Okay. So we come around. Left hand on that strap, the long loop. I'm going to bring the hands together. I'm going to find spring tension. Hands are in front of my sternum. Nice wide position. Again, my tailbone is heavy. My ribs are drawn in. Think of your hip points lifting up to the bottom ribs. I'm going to plie or squat down and then stand right back up. So I'm thinking of, there was a reformer session I did a couple weeks ago, and we did some really, really good hip work standing on the carriage or just throughout the whole session, right? Those of you who took that class, find those same muscles, these granny panty line muscles here. It's very tempting for the booty to want to stick out. So for a lot of us, we have to think of almost tucking here. My head, I'm trying to get it right over my ribs. Ooh, that left arm, I'm feeling things. Now lower down into your plie. Think knees widen back, tripod connection through your feet. Right hand on your hip, open the arm out, and then kind of hug or punch across. And I can already feel like my right hip, right shoulder needs to come forward, left hip, left shoulder back. I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna watch the footage and go, goodness, you are all kinds of twisted. Hi, Buddha. Woo, check your neck, check your shoulders. Put your hands on yourself. See if you need to readjust. Even in this position, think of the tricep reaching away from your center line. You have 3 and 2. And last one, okay, right hand on the strap, left hand on. We're gonna do that kind of weird, draw a sword. hybrid with a hug. And another reason why I want that arm to kind of come around as it comes forward is I want to stay in spring tension. If we keep it close to the chest, we lose spring tension. Woo! Starting to feel those legs shake a little bit. This is upper back work, a lot of forearm as well. Let's do 3. I want you to feel like you're connecting to that side body. That's 2 and 1. Oh, bring it across, hang up the strap. Oh, okay. I like it. We're now gonna switch it to a short box just as he jumps on. Okay. All right, so once you've got your box in the short position up against the shoulder blocks, we're gonna switch our spring to 1 medium spring. So for my balanced body, that is a red spring. Hopefully there's no cats or kids or anything in the way, but we are gonna come down to our forearms here. You're just gonna make sure and get hair in my face, aren't you? I'm sorry, Buddha, just come to the side of me. All right, so forearms are on. I want you to get the entire fist, elbow, and forearm into the box. Okay, so no hands hanging off here, okay? So knees are underneath my hips. I'm gonna, again, think of lifting up through the base of the ribs, and then my gaze is just in front of that headrest. And before we even lift up, can you already get more weight into your fists than your elbows? Now keep that, and now just hover the knees. Just hover, just living your best life right here. Still think of your triceps reaching away from your body. Woo. And now from here, just lower the knees down, tap them, and lift back up. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. For 4, and 3, and 2. Last one, lower down. Awesome. Let's come up. I want you to take your hands behind your back. You can either hook the thumbs, hook the fingers, whatever. And let's just get a little stretch. Drop the tailbone, push the hips forward, puff up the chest. Maybe you take your gaze up. Take the forearms back down. Okay, we're gonna keep the knees bent again, and we're just gonna do that knee tap, but just switching it up a little bit. All right, so fists into the mat. Lift up through your sternum, your ribs, hover the knees. Upper body stays square. Your lower half is gonna twist. Tap one knee down, lift it up, find center. Other knee taps down, find center. So can you keep that 50-50 weight between your right and left forearm as you do this? Woo, it's hard. Hang in there for 4. Anybody else feeling the thighs? 3, and 2, and 1. Come center, lower down. Take a moment. Okay, this next one, I gotta admit, I'm not very good at, okay? I'm just not. But I'm gonna attempt it. We're gonna do it. So if at any point you're like, I don't like this, you can just keep both feet down, okay? So forearms back onto the box. Should look like a number 11, elbows underneath your shoulders. We lift our chest up away from the box, find that broad upper back, hover the knees, press the carriage out and hold here. All right, here we go. Shift weight into your right leg, bring your left knee into your chest. Feel the lift of the belly up, maybe you round a little bit and send the leg back out. Left knee pulls in, maybe the head drops a little bit and back out. Now we're gonna add on, okay? I have to keep my knee bent. You can straighten your leg. I'm gonna bring the carriage in, pike the hips up. My right leg obviously stays straight. I bring the carriage in, knee into the chest. Hips pike up, carriage comes in, and there we go. Keep pushing down through those fists. Check your neck, y'all. For 2, strong right leg. And last one, go ahead and take the knee down, press the carriage out, find a stretch. In fact, let's do a little point and flex of that right foot. If you can get a good grip on that carriage there. Okay, let's bring it in. All right. So we're still doing, I don't know if I said all that right, we're still doing the knee into the chest, but as the carriage comes in, the leg will go out straight. That's the thing I struggle with. So you do you, y'all. All right, fist down. Hover the knees, let's go out. All right, shift weight into the left leg, right knee into your chest. Just do a couple of these. You can always stay here, all right? When you're ready though, hips pike up. Let that head drop and try to keep hugging the midline with that leg, with both legs. I just noticed my right leg was going out to the side. Push down into that platform. Push into those fists. Let's do 3. Hang in there, y'all. Control it. 2. Last one. Place the knee down. We come forward. Nice Eve's lunge. Feel like that left hip is going forward. You can do that point and flex if you like. Sounded good, but this side's feeling a little funky. Okay, let's bring it all the way in. So we're gonna stay on the same spring. Foot bar is gonna stay down. I'm gonna have a seat on my carriage facing my foot bar. So not the most graceful position to get into, but let's do it. So I've got all 10 toes on, heels together, toes apart. Find parallel if that doesn't work for you. I'm gonna lift my hips up and I'm gonna try to get the box at my low ribs. Think like if you're wearing a bra, think like low bra line. I like to take my hands behind my head, but I want you in a chest lift here. So again, think broad upper back as opposed to wide elbows. My hips are lifted and I'm thinking pubic bone higher than my 2 hip points. All I want you to do here is keep your pubic bone driving up to the sky and just lower the heels and lift the heels. Continue with this and then feel or start to just tap into your butt crease muscles, back of the legs, calves. If you're in your Pilates V, I want your knees to be only open to the width of your shoulders. And if you're in parallel, you're at that hip socket distance apart. So go ahead and lift your heels up. Just press the carriage out and pull it in. It may not be all the way out, that's okay. And let's add some breath here. So let's do an exhale as you press out and then an inhale as you pull in. Think knees going past your toes. Exhale. Inhale, pull in. All right, here's your semicircle, y'all. So think ribs in. Again, pelvis, pubic bone going up, 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 up. Now, press it out to your point of control. You can let your head go back a little bit and articulate your hips down towards the floor. You're gonna bring the carriage in. Oh, lovely stretch. Roll your hips up, press the carriage out, not all the way, and then sternum, ribs, belly, hips, and pull the carriage in. Your heels are obviously gonna have to like maneuver around here. That's okay. Pull the carriage in, roll your hips up. Now, we reverse it. So roll down, roll down, roll down. Press the carriage out. Think pelvis lifts before torso lifts. Roll your hips up. Pause here. Could you lift your hips up a little bit higher? Could you get every toe pad connected to the foot bar more? There it is. Pull the carriage in. Again, roll down. Press it out. We roll up. Drag it in. Lengthen that tailbone. Open up your low back. And then roll down. Carefully find your hips to the mat if we can. Again, I know it's not the most graceful, but I'm hoping that was a nice thigh stretch after all of that work. So that's it, y'all. Little stretch and we're done. Place your foot bar back up into your footwork position. Gonna keep the short box on. I'm gonna come seated facing you, so my left shin is on the carriage, and I'm gonna have my right leg in this, I guess, kind of 90-degree bend pigeon. You can always have it hanging off the front, okay? So I want you to think of your legs kind of drawing down, but also hugging into the box. I'm gonna think of both, or really my right hip staying down. My left hip is obviously hanging off the box, but it's gonna stay reaching down as well. Left hand comes onto my foot bar. Right arm comes up and over. I'm gonna press the carriage out, or just straighten that bottom arm, and then side bend up and over. So as I'm going over, I'm thinking of almost both hands reaching into a foot bar, all while sinking my right hip, right thigh, right knee down. And then from here, let's just do a little spiral. Little twist, I'm gonna look down to the floor. Ooh, there's a pop. A little twist, lift up through the sternum, and then back out. One more. Find center, carefully guide the carriage in. We just windmill the arms. My right hand is gonna come down anywhere you like, okay? I have long orangutan arms. I'm gonna go down to the headrest. You do you. Left arm comes up and over. Keep your left shin drawing down into the carriage, but also into the box. And then stay here in this big side bend. Push into that bottom hand. And now I want you to bend your top elbow, frame your beautiful face, and then straighten the arm out. If you want to turn your head to the right or down to the floor, you're more than welcome. That may be nice, maybe not. Let's straighten the arm out. One last reach, and then carefully windmill the arms up. Other side. All right, so right booty hanging off the box, left hip, left thigh, left knee, all the things. Right hand on, make sure it's either in line with your body or slightly in front. We go out, up and over. And then when you're out here, let's do that little spiral. So don't be so quick to wanna reach the arm down to the floor. It's more of across the room and past that left corner of your foot bar. Oh my goodness, I love this one. This is my favorite stretch here lately. Let's go ahead and guide the carriage in. Again, with control, we go up and over to the other side. Right knee, right shin stays down. I'm gonna push strongly into that bottom hand. And then when you're ready, we do that bend and extend of the top arm. If you want, you can look down at that left hand. Can you hug that outside leg into the box a little bit more? Last one, arm goes straight. We carefully come up. And that was fun. At least I had fun. I hope you had fun. Let me know what you thought, what you felt in the comments. Anything you liked, didn't like, let's talk about it. I appreciate you guys. Hope to see you again.